He will be key to unlocking your memories. Okay, before I continue on that factor, I'm just going to say something real quick. Man, it has felt freaking crazy not having Tokyo Ghoul in the past 2 weeks. Like, no chapter for the past 2 weeks has just killed me inside slowly. Like, I was going through some withdrawals with my lack of Tokyo Ghoul, because I love this series, and seeing it not here for the past 2 weeks, I was like, what the fuck is going on? The chapter has been out raw for a long time now for the past 2 weeks, but no translations for the past 2 weeks, so it's finally out. Just like, damn, hopefully I'm not the only one to really be happy that this chapter is finally out. Anyways, diving into the chapter, I just want to talk about that ending. So the ending of this chapter. He will be the key to unlocking your memories. Pretty much, this person at the end, okay? With the dialogue, the choice of dialogue, it makes me believe, after looking at the panel a couple times, I actually looked at that panel quite a bit. I was just staring at it, looking for any key indicator of who that was at the last page of chapter 12. And then instantly I noticed something that he was holding. This person was holding something very interesting. Look at the weapon. Go back to the final panel, the final page of chapter 12 of Tokyo Ghoul, and you will see this person holding like a staff or a polearm or something. And instantly, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, who wields those type of weapons when it comes to Tokyo Ghoul? Amon. So, is that person at the end of this chapter Amon? I'm almost 100% certain, because the way the ending is, the way the dialogue is on top of that, saying this person will be key to unlocking your memories, it seems quite obvious that it might be Amon, because round 3 fights go. I mean, that would be pretty badass if that does happen. What also would be crazy is if Amon is a ghoul, because, I mean, Amon disappeared. He just disappeared, and we know Ogiri Tree possibly took him, so it's possible he might be a ghoul now. And if he is, Amon can now understand what type of suffering Kaneki had to go through, so that'd be interesting if we find out that Amon is actually a ghoul. I wonder exactly what is going to happen if that does happen. But anyways, just seeing that final panel, it makes me think about a load of different things. For one thing, the overall breakdown of Sasaki is getting closer and closer and closer by the chapter. It's becoming very apparent as the chapters roll on that Kaneki, or Sasaki at the moment, is going to break fucking down. He is going to just break down, and his inner demons are going to flood out. For instance, Centipede-kun. He's going to flood out a Kaneki, or Sasaki, and we're going to see that dark, demented personality that once was, because it's becoming more and more obvious that Ishida's slowly building this up. He's building this up to where Kaneki is not trusting himself. Like, he wants to know more about himself. At the exact same time, is it really good that he wants to know more about himself? You see this inner conflict going on inside of Kaneki's head, or Sasaki's head, both of them just having conflict with each other. And I like that a lot, how Ishida, once again, is diving in more into Kaneki's psyche. I love seeing that. I love seeing the slow breakdown of Kaneki or Sasaki, whatever name you technically want to call him. I love seeing this slow breakdown, because it's so enjoyable seeing how Ishida loves going into these psychological traits when it comes to this series. It makes me depressed seeing Kaneki suffer, it really does, but I just love seeing how Kaneki can have somewhat of a complex personality because of all these different personalities he has inside of him. So I just can't wait for the day to when he finally unlocks those memories and probably Centipede comes out and starts wrecking havoc and wrecks face everybody around him. I just cannot wait to see that shit. So, besides that, let's talk about this chapter. So, this chapter, whoa, there was quite a bit in this chapter. Like, a lot of stuff going down. Like, you had the entire stuff with Ure. Like, Ure goes underneath surgery in this chapter. So, Sasaki approved of Ure getting the surgery. Is this surgery going to be the downfall of Ure? I mean, we got to think about this, because, I mean, they get closer and closer to Ghoul when they lower down this wall. So, is he going to turn into a Ghoul after this? Is it possible? But we got that entire event going on in this chapter, along with finding out more information of Shu. My boy, Shu. He makes an appearance. He makes a fucking appearance in this. And I'm like, yes. He made an appearance last chapter in the final panel, but to see him in this, I'm like, yes! He was shaded out. We couldn't see his full face of what he looks like, But we got to see my boy Shu talk in this chapter, and I'm like, yes! Because I love my boy Shu. So, Shu, seeing him in that state in this chapter, when you see how he can't feel or technically smell anything anymore, like his nose has grown dull compared to how it used to be, it makes me sad. I mean, Shu's a twisted fucking character, let's just be real here, he is. But I love Shu, he's a really unique and twisted character when it comes to Tokyo Ghoul, and to see him in that state with how he can't even enjoy smells anymore, it makes me sad, it really does, seeing this character in that state, and how much Kaneki meant to Shu, and how he's gone, and how Shu is now. I mean, to see that element, it's sad, and it's depressing. You could tell in this chapter, it wasn't shown, but most likely Shu had some form of reaction to the undergarments of Kaneki, because it wasn't shown, but most likely reacted, because you have it to where, you know, Shu's technical manservant, pretty much, went to Hori and asked, like, what was going on, whose underwear was that, and so forth and so on, and the only reason why this person would go to ask Hori this is if, you know, Shu did have a reaction, which he did. It wasn't shown, but he must have, and so Shu might eventually realize who it is, and come after Haze Kaneki. If that does, oh man, that's just like, that'd be fucking ridiculous if that does happen. They're like, oh man. So, besides that, the overall aspect with Hori, we actually get finally some clarification on Hori's character. Now, there's been so many rumors about Hori's character that it's just, yeah, I don't even want to get into it. There's just so much fucking rumors and discussions about her character. But we find out technically she is human, and she actually is kind of considered a pet to Shu in this chapter, which, damn. So, Shu thinks of Hori as a pet, like a little mouse, pretty much. And it's kind of cute in a certain way, in a twisted, fucked up certain way. That's kind of cute, but I mean, like, damn. So, Hori actually acknowledges that she is a pet. And I'm like, what? Like, she actually acknowledges she's a pet to Shu. And so, yeah. And apparently it's been like 9 years since she took a picture of Shu. Now, what I have to say though, Hori's position, I wonder if she's going to be getting any more things of, you know, Kaneki to give to Shu, where he could realize who that is, because if he does find out, we know for a fact Shu's going to go apeshit to find Haze Kaneki, or Haze, you know, Sasaki. He's going to do anything he possibly can to find him. So, I can't wait to see when Shu finally realizes who that smell was. He might already realize, because, I mean, if he reacted some form or fashion, he might already be heading over there now. Now, besides that factor, we find out some more different connections going along with Shu. For instance, the Nutcracker is related to the restaurant that we know Shu is connected with, and so which in turn means that Shu and the Nutcracker are related. So, there's going to come a time in the next probably couple chapters, maybe 10 chapters from now, to where this entire large-scale raid probably against the restaurant is going to happen, and most likely Kaneki is going to see Shu. In which, if he does, we know for a fact what's going to happen. I mean, soon as Shu sees Sasaki, he's like, Kaneki-kun! And he's going to be running at him trying to devour him. I mean, we know for a fact that's going to happen. So, pretty much, that's what this chapter sets up. It sets up the Nutcracker is connected, along with telling us more information about the actual investigators. So we find out more about Division 2, which I was quite shocked to find out. That's one thing I want to take a moment to say. One thing I really love about Tokyo Ghoul is the actual way it's showing us the inner workings of the investigators, like how their structure of their, you know, organization works. Division 2, pretty much, we find out that they're the top elites, like when it comes to brains and making tactics and making plans against, like, large-scale organized battles or fights. And so I like how we're finding out more and more information about CCG recently, because it just allows us to understand the actual troubles and pain that the investigators have to go through before they plan certain attacks, like, you know, what they probably had to do before they started the attack on Ogiri Tree or Anteiku at the end of Tokyo Ghoul Part 1. And so to see this, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to find out more about Division 2 and find out the inner workings of how the CCG really works. And that's exactly what this chapter does. It sets up some little aspects along with that. So, Toka appears in this chapter 2, right at the end. Toka doesn't say much, but Toka asks, you know, Kaneki, like, are you a teacher, or what are you? And pretty much, we have it to where Kaneki doesn't actually reveal that, But that pretty much is what happens, and so you can clearly tell that Toka kind of thinks who it is, and is trying to get more and more questions out of Kaneki to see if that really is the person she thinks he is. And so I can't wait to see exactly what's going to happen. There's a lot of little setups going on here, a lot of little build-ups. Cannot wait to see where Ashita is going to take the next couple chapters, because it's going to be fucking ridiculous. So, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, how do you feel about this chapter of Tokyo Ghoul? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I love y'all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.